everyone, welcome to Film Vets. I'm your host Paul Dixon, and this is my review of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Hey, little darling, don't shed no tear. No woman, no cry.
Queen Ramonda, Shuri, M'Baku Okoye, and the Dore Milaje fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. As the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with the help of War Dog Nakia and Everett Ross, and forge a new path for the kingdom of Wakanda. Right off the bat, I want to say that we're going to go into spoiler territory. It's really difficult to talk about this film without talking about spoilers. I'll say that the film, while not as good as the first Black Panther, in my opinion, was still very solid and a great Phase 4 Marvel film. All right, on with the spoilers. The first big thing in the movie that is addressed and is something that we knew was going to have a huge effect on this film was the passing of Chadwick Boseman. It's just tragic in so many ways, but the film either was going to get made or it wasn't, and the fact that it was made is something they had to deal with. They couldn't just ignore it, and they had a choice. They were either going to recast Chadwick Boseman as King T'Challa, or they were just going to have to write him out of the film. In that regard, I think they made the best movie that they could. It's elevated the feelings everyone has in the movie because it feels like everyone is really feeling that loss, and you'd have to be kind of dead inside not to feel it yourself when you're watching this film. The biggest question about this is, does it work? And for the most part, yes. Although I will say that there were things about the film I could have done without or just cut down on, like some of the secondary characters, their storyline. I would say the Everett Ross stuff was a little out of place, and I think they could have cut down on that. Even though I love Martin Freeman and I love his character and I love the whole thing with his ex-wife, under the circumstances, they probably couldn't have made a better film. Letitia Wright is really the star of this film, even though it's a very ensemble cast. But she has the bulk of the emotional arc, and she pulls it off very well. I was very happy with her in the first movie, and she pulled it off here in the second movie. So there was no worries there. And the fact she's the new Black Panther we'll get to later, but I just want to say she was very, very good in this role, as usual. Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett is a treasure in this film, and there's been talk about Oscar nomination. I can see that happening. She is just magnificent and tragic and pulls at the heartstrings every moment she's on screen. I really loved her emotional arc. I loved what she does towards the end of the film, and when she dies, protecting Riri Williams. It's something that I think would propel most films. So this helped tremendously. And I think Angela Bassett deserves an Oscar nomination in general, but this is just another reason. She's just great. Tenoch Huerta. Tenoch Huerta is Namor. I didn't really see Namor as a villain. I saw him more as just somebody just trying to protect his world. And I think that's the best thing about anti-heroes or people that are not on completely the good side of things. If anything, I felt like he was the way Black Adam should have been in the Black Adam film. Somebody that will cause genocide and kill others to protect what he has. And I didn't get that feeling too much. At least they didn't do it as well as they could have with Black Adam. And here, Namor will do that. He will commit genocide to create peace for his people. And I think that was really well done. I've always been a big fan of Namor. He's one of the first mutants, I believe. I'm so glad he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now. And his introduction was epic. The little feather wings on his ankles. I mean, as silly as that is, it works because he's an inherently silly character, but there's such gravitas with this character that it just makes it bearable and cool. A great introduction to a really long-standing Marvel character that has a great future in this film franchise. I will say his motivations were a little weak. I really wanted more substance there for why he would attack the surface world, even though that is something that he was talking about doing for a long time in the film. But it seemed like, okay, so this random person died, so now he's pissed and he's been betrayed by Shuri or whatever. I just wanted more reason to finally go after the surface world, and I think there could have been a little more there. But as is, it's fine. The catalyst for Shuri becoming the Black Panther could have been a little smoother. The whole thing with Queen Ramonda dying, I felt like it was just we had another death on top of another death. It was a little too much, but at the same time, I get where they were going for the story. I could have done without Angela Bassett dying, honestly. But it's fine. The film really has a lot of gravitas with that, and she has a reason, even more motivation to become the Black Panther and go after Namor. So I get where they're coming from. It's a lot of death. It's a lot to deal with, and it's one thing after another. We're losing all these great people, and it just kind of sucks. But something that I did not see coming that I probably should have, because everybody was talking about it, was Michael B. Jordan coming back for a cameo. The guy is amazing in anything he does, and him coming back was a no-brainer. I mean, why not? I just didn't think, oh, well, how are they going to, how can they do that? He's dead from the first movie. And I just did not think about the fact that Shuri could see him in a vision, and that's exactly what happened. And it floored me that they went there, because I associated when people go into the visions, they see people that are important figures in their life in positive ways. But this is a very negative time in Shuri's life, so she ended up seeing somebody that was a negative in her life, and it worked. I was really excited to see Michael B. Jordan just back for a cameo. He's so great as Killmonger. I hope there's a way they can bring him back. Actually, they did in What If season 1, and they could totally do it in season 2. So, I mean, cartoon or otherwise, I would love to see his character back. Now, Shuri as the Black Panther is fine. I didn't really have her as my top choice to be the new Black Panther. It was probably, for me, Nakia, someone from the Dora Milaje. I just really thought that she was more of the technical side of things, more of the brain, and I didn't see her as being the quintessential Black Panther for me, in my mind. Under the circumstances of what they did in the film, I get she was the best choice in that respect for the story that they did. So I guess I give it a pass. I really think I wanted Chadwick Boseman back. I mean, that's just no way around that. Nakia, by the end of the film, I did feel was a better not Black Panther. She was great in the role that she did. I like her being kind of the spy, kind of the person that does what she does in the first movie, where she integrates these cities and tries to help people or, bring people back to Wakanda. That works really well for her character. So the fact that they kept with that is fine. And I think Shuri has a bright future as Black Panther. I think that the way that they're going is going to be interesting and different. Not what I preferred, but something that I'm really intrigued by. Riri Williams as Ironheart was great. I didn't have any problems with her. I just think the movie could have probably done without her. We already had so many characters coming into this film that it just felt a little bloated when it got to the point of her coming in. But the story they told with her was really well done. She's a very charismatic character. I didn't think this is Tony Stark light or anything like that. I love that she was a foil for Okoye. That was a lot of fun to watch, and the two of them together was always just gold. Speaking of Okoye, I think she would have made a good Black Panther. I think they were leading, it seemed like they were leading to her being the Black Panther at one point, because she was fired from her job in the Dora Milaje. And it's just kind of interesting they didn't go there. I think they could have if they wanted to, but alas, she was great. The whole fight scene between the people of Not Atlantis and Wakanda was epic and brief, and I think it was a good fight. It was a good battle. There was a lot of tension there. I loved M'Baku, which again was great in this film. I just didn't think the end of it felt a little out of place, a little rushed. Like the whole thing with them kind of coming together and saying, oh, we have a truce now. I mean, she was dead set on killing the man, and she got a vision and was like, no, it might not have been the best way to go. I think maybe there could have been a better way to have a stalemate as opposed to people just give up. I kind of hate when they do that in comics, because they're just like, well, we have these two characters. We don't want to kill either one of them, so let's just have them give up. And it's just kind of annoying. They did that in the Civil War, the original comic book by Mark Millar, and Captain America's like, well, I give up. And it's just like, I don't know, maybe there's no better way. I don't know. I kind of wish there was something more epic and grandeur about it. Hell, I would have been fine with Namor getting killed. I know, or even Shuri getting killed. It would have been just kind of like, okay, where does this story go now? I'm fine with it though. It's just, it felt a little off. This film just had to do what it had to do to get there to the next point, and that was what they chose to do. It's fine. The final scene of the movie where we're seeing Shuri on the beach, kind of letting go of King T'Challa T'Challa was, in my opinion, the most heartbreaking scene I've seen in a film in a long time. She's closing her eyes and she's seeing her brother, and it pulls at your heartstrings, and it makes you feel, not only have we lost this character, this great character, but we've lost a great actor, one of the best of our generation. There won't be another person like that, and it just really, really sucks. I think that Marvel went above and beyond when it came to that about this film. It was something they really needed to do. It was almost like the film itself needed to let go of that person because they were holding on. And, Shuri was a kind of a conduit for that. The mid-credit scene is perfect. They set up something that's really intriguing and something I really wanted to see, which was the son of Black Panther. And I think they're actually, somebody said online again, they're going to be able to set up T'Challa's story arcs from the comics with this character now, with his son in the future. It's kind of a brilliant setup for that. And also you get to keep Shuri as the current Black Panther, and maybe she goes off and trains this child of T'Challa, and that could be the next movie. That's very exciting. That's a great setup. I'm floored that they did that. I'm excited to see where it goes. Final thoughts for this movie. I thought it was great. I think that you couldn't have made a better sequel to Black Panther with the loss of Chadwick Boseman. It really is the equivalent of a no-win scenario. Kobayashi Maru. You can't win, win the loss of your main character. But they found a way to do it in a respectful way. They found a way to do it best way possible, in my opinion, and I'm really happy with the film. I don't know if I'll see it again. It's a very long film. You'll probably see it on Blu-ray or something. I highly recommend seeing this film. I think everyone should see it. I think you're gonna feel the feelings, and you're going to, if you're like me, you're going to enjoy seeing how they find the resolution for this character who is so beloved. You kind of need to see going forward with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Losing T'Challa is so monumental that you have to find out why this happened. And this is a great story. Go check it out. That was my review of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. What did you think about it? Did you like the film? Were you kind of upset that they didn't replace Chadwick Boseman? Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out our other segment called Vet Spotlight, where we talk about veterans in the entertainment industry who are still working today. Thank you so much, veterans, for watching and for your service, and thank you for checking out this review. We'll see you next time.